Hi, I'm Kirby.
I'm Dana.
And we are
Migratory Nerds. It's time for our latest adventure. Let's get exploring.
All right, we're continuing our 12-day Alaska cruise on the Virgin Voyages Brilliant Lady. And today we're in Icy Strait Point, which was built specifically for cruise ships.
Yes.
It's a few minutes away from the town of Hoonah.
Yes.
And
Icy Strait Point is not a real, town.
Place.
It's just
They
what
made it
they
up.
called the cruise port.
Yep. And we have an independent tour booked through Glacier Winds Charter to go whale watching.
Ooh.
Let's go. A quick breakfast in the Galley, and because there were quite a few ships at Icy Strait Point today, we did have to tender in, so we headed down to meet the tender spot to head ashore. Our tender took us to the Wilderness dock, so to take the free transporter gondola to the other dock to get to the excursion hub. You take the free gondola, or there's a nature trail that will connect you to the other landing as well. Nature trail is hard packed but rocky with some elevation, so probably not great for mobility aids, but the gondola is accessible friendly. I don't think it was in season yet, but they did have this really cool excursion wilderness adventure course all throughout when we were walking on the nature trail. So the nature trail ends right there, and this is where the gondolas would drop off, and that is the walk to the excursion. The walk from the wilderness dock to the other dock, whose name I can't remember, was about 0.6 miles. Took us 20 minutes of a gentle stroll while stopping to take pictures and chatting with a few people. So the only difficult thing about the walk, I would say, is the elevation changes. It's hard packed ground. It's not long, but there are some elevation ups and downs that would be hard to navigate if you weren't really mobile or you had any sort of mobility aid. But the gondola itself between the two docks is complimentary. Cancel the whale watch. We saw an orca. Migratory nerdy fact of the video, Icy Strait Point is a native-owned port. It's owned by the Hoonah Totem Corporation. It's built on the site of the former Hoonah Packing Company, which was a salmon cannery, and it's home to the world's highest and longest zip line, dropping 1,300 feet down from the mountain. You can walk to the town of Hoonah, which is about 1.5 miles down that way, or I believe there's a shuttle that'll take you in as well if you want to get away from the actual Icy Strait Point cruise dock area. There are multiple dining and shopping outlets located right at the port, and then inside there's also a museum about the old salmon cannery and talking about Icy Strait Point and the town of Hoonah. And we obviously can't pass up any opportunity to have a donut. All right, so the Icy Strait Point cruise area has two docks.
Yes.
The Wilderness landing and the Ocean landing. There is the gondola complimentary will take you between those two. Or there's a little nature trail that you can walk between the two, which we did we had a tender which went to the Wilderness landing.
Right.
So then we took the nature trail, which was beautiful.
Gorgeous. The ground is hard packed gravel. It wasn't too muddy or anything. But the incline was fairly steep, so I would think that if you were using anything wheeled mobility aid, it would be very challenging.
Probably even like pushing a stroller.
Yeah.
You know, and it was the ground was hard, but it was just that was a steep up and down in a few places. So I think that's the only sort of thing. Or if like you're a little bit unsure, you know, or you struggle with like that kind of incline, I would take the gondola, which between the two landings is complimentary and also has the ability to accommodate mobility aids.
Yes.
So you could bring your stroller, you could wheel right on in any sort of mobility chair. And then the gondola all the way up to the top is the paid one. Mm-hmm. It's like, at the time of this, it was like $50.
Yeah, and I don't know what's up there.
I don't know what's up there. I don't ever think I'll find out.
It goes really, really high.
Yeah. And then in the ocean landing side is where most of the like shops and restaurant and
the cannery museum.
So the Icy Strait Point site is the old salmon cannery building that they refurbished. So there is a museum with some displays and things that was really cool to like walk around and shops, and we got mini donuts.
Yes.
Which were really good.
Yes.
And then we went to anything else about the cruise port?
There were plenty of clean restrooms.
Yes, lots of clean restrooms around. And then it's time for our whale watch. We booked an independent tour separate from the ship through Glacier Winds Charter. They picked us right up at the excursion hub and drove us a few minutes to the boat.
About some killer whales, unsubstantiated rumors so far, but everyone's out there looking. We'll keep looking as well along the way. Probably head out to the east and see what we can find out to the east. There's some scattered humpback whales out there this morning, and a group that hopefully is still together.
Glacier Winds Charter only has 2 boats that seat a max of 13 people, so you really get the small boat experience with the opportunity to see everything all around you without being overcrowded by people. First major nature sighting of the excursion were these Dall's porpoise that ended up playing with the wake of the boat and sort of diving in and out in front and around the boat. It was really, really cool to see how they played with and interacted with the boat. Isn't he just utterly adorable? Spent some time with these whales, and then Captain Casey got notices from the other boats that there was a large group or pod of whales traveling together that was doing some bubble feeding, so we're off to try and find that. Bubble net feeding is a specialized feeding behavior seen primarily in humpback whales, in which groups of whales use air to create a net of bubbles that corral schools of small fish or krill before they do this coordinated surface lunge to eat the food.
The growling means it's a delicious meal. Right?
They even had a hydrophone on board, which basically they dropped like a microphone into the water so that we could hear the whales communicating underwater from the speaker on the boat. Incredible. And all good things must come to an end. We're heading back towards the boat, warming up with some hot cocoa, and we're greeted by this beautiful rainbow right as we were getting back to port. We're sailing away from Icy Strait Point on our way to Haines. And it's pretty dang spectacular. Alright, because we booked an independent tour, we had to meet them at the excursion hub. If you booked something straight through the cruise line itself, I think they meet you closer on the docks. But the excursion hub is like super well marked and was easy to find. And so we went with Glacier Winds Charter. They have 2 boats that take max 13 people. So really small boats. It was so cool.
It was great. There's never a point where you're feeling like I can't see anything because there's plenty of room. They get, I think, a lot of repeat customers, which was pretty cool. Seeing people like greeting the owners,
right? That like know them. They knew the captains. So it's parents who own it, and their sons are now the boat drivers.
Right.
And the mom and dad have sort of stepped back from that, and they're doing like the office work and driving the shuttle, but the sons are the boat drivers, which is really cool. That's a little small family business. And Casey, who is our captain, said even the charters that aren't, right, there are lots of whale watching charters that you can do, but he said that this area is the most sort of cooperative of all the places he's done sort of whale watching, where
they all communicate together.
And so they won't guarantee it, but they guarantee like you're gonna see something cool. It was, I mean, I don't know what more we could have.
It was pretty magical.
It was pretty awesome. And they had hot cocoa on the boat.
Yep.
It had a restroom.
Yes, which I used.
Yeah.
Clean, easy. Fine.
Yeah, I'm surprised a boat that small had a restroom, so that was really nice. So I would 100% go back to Icy Strait Point and do this again.
Yeah, the experience was great.
It was incredible.
And it was great not only because we saw amazing nature, but like just the experience all around
Right.
with
The
communication.
captain, yes, they changed our time a couple times because when we booked it, it looked like we were going to be docking
Right.
at Wilderness Landing, and then
Oh yeah.
when they found out it was a tender, so that everybody didn't feel scrambled, they actually pushed the time back a few times to give people enough time to, because everybody on our boat, I think, was on our ship.
Yeah, I think
all
Brilliant Lady.
so they moved it back so that nobody felt panicked trying to like get to the boat. They were super communicative. There was so much good information from like the deckhand, whose name I can't remember, but Casey was the captain, like talking about how you can tell the difference between salmon, and it was I would 100% do it again.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Anything else about Glacier Winds Charter?
Nope.
No? And then we sort of crashed. We had galley dinner, which I managed to take a picture of my salad after I finished eating it, and my donuts. That was it for the day. It was a long day.
It was a long day full of stimulation.
Yeah, so we had a quiet evening and watched a movie in the room.
Watched a silly movie in the room.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right, I'm Kirby.
I'm Dana.
And we are
Migratory Nerds.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you get notified when all of our new videos drop. Bye.